I often invite my students to read the Book of Pastoral Rule by Gregory the Great. It is also translated Pastoral Care in some older translations. And why do I have students read this book? Why do I recommend that Christian leaders read this book? For one thing, it's from a different time than our own. It transcends our prejudices. It's before all of that. This is one of the oldest books you'll have ever read. Gregory lived between 540 and 604 AD. He's widely respected among Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox believers. He lived this stuff. He has this interesting story of being sort of like the mayor of Rome, being the most important person in Rome in terms of leadership, resigning from that, selling all he had, and forming like 6 monasteries from his household properties, and including his own property became a monastery, and he became a monk. Then later, 5 years later, he was invited to by the Pope to be his representative. So this was all in Rome, but to be his representative in the Eastern capital, where the Eastern emperor was, in Constantinople. And he lived there for 7 years doing that work and also being an abbot. So he lived this stuff. Oh, then he became Pope. And that role, he did really strong administrative things, and he also wrote a number of books. But why you will also find it really helpful is that he lived this. So not only in his story was he a monk, an abbot, those sort of introspective, contemplative kind of work that he really thinks is important. However, he also accepted the invitation to be involved in practical work and administrative work, in leadership work in the world, and he recommends that as well. And so it's interesting to hear him talk about the need to balance those things and the unique temptations that are associated with both just being contemplative, just being hidden away from the world, just being a monastic, and also being overly involved in secular affairs, being too busy, being distracted constantly by that work. And then the final reason to read him is that his work is saturated with Scripture. In general, he is using biblical examples and biblical references for what he teaches about these practical matters of how to think about leadership and how to think about living well in the midst of that leadership. He points out there's a lot of negative stories in the Bible that we can learn from. That's one of the things that he really emphasizes. I think he's insightful, thoughtful. It's not super difficult reading. So I recommend the Book of Pastoral Rule if you are a Christian leader and you're looking for something ancient, something classic, something solid to read and reflect on.